right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. Welcome to Some Random Guy Speaks. I am your host, Tony G. All right, and we're about to get started. So, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, um, this topic are Black women the problem in the so-called Black community? That is the question. I said I was going to tackle this today, this morning. And yeah, I've been noticing there is a trend of Black women disgruntled, upset, and not only that they're disgruntled and upset, but they also do not accept the fact that Donald Trump, the president of the United States, and it's sad to see that they refuse to accept defeat, and they also refuse to accept his policies, and they push Kamala Harris, and they push and taunt and criticize Black men, which is not fair at all. And this is one of the main reasons as to why that Black men need to step up, as in get your passports. Because the problem, and I talked about this before, the problem, and this is not just Black women, this is a problem with the majority of women in Western world society. And that would be feminism, or I'm talking about feminist. Also, with feminist, we're talking about the other one, which is, you already know, liberal, feminist minded women with that mindset. These are the ones you cannot procreate. We can't seem to be coexistent with each other. Men are always at the fault of the root cause because of these liberal-minded feminist bitches. The problem is that when you look at the core of it all, they are the problem. They are the ones that lack accountability. They lack responsibility, straight like that. And this why we have the problems that we have today, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm here to touch on that, to talk about that, because it is what it is. I said, I'm gonna make one earlier and things like that. And I want, whenever you guys chime in, and I know it's still early, but I'm gonna make this video anyway. And I just wanted to know, because the so-called Black community, and I call it the so-called Black community because we grew up, a lot of Black men have grown up in a matriarchic system, a matriarch, where the women are in control. And this is one of the main reasons that you see grown-ass men that are afraid of their mamas, they're afraid of their sisters and aunties and all the rest of this type of stuff. When a liberal man, there's no masculinity there at all. When you've been raised under a patriarch system, and when you have had a man or some type of father figure or some type of manhood training, they don't fear women like that. It's really, really, really weird to fear a feminine woman that has less of the strength than we do. I mean, she just has her mouth, and and that's pretty much it. So this is one of the main reasons why we are looking like jackasses, right? Because it makes men that are not like that, and I know guys that have been raised with their father, and they have a whole different mentality. And they kind of know which men not to mess with, not to F with, you know what I'm saying? Because They know there's a threat of violence that can possibly occur. There's certain type of men that you just do not mess with. With me, on the other hand, I just take the high road. I don't need to deal with all that type of stuff, which is what I'm encouraging a lot of black men, especially, just take the high road, because the high road is the right road. I've been encouraging the brothers to get your passports, because you don't have anything in the so-called black community. It's a dumpster fire, as I always say. It's really a dumpster fire. So when you understand that dynamic, and we can basically be able to move on, because right now, these out of control black women that are liberal, they are showing black men, and they are showing the world, they've been showing the world. This is one of the main reasons why they don't excuse my French, they don't mess or F with black women. This is the problem. They are the problem. Lack of accountability, lack of responsibility. And I said I was going to go there today, right? Now that I got a little time in the studio, I can really be able to talk about this and bring up some key points in regards to it, because they are the problem. And you can see how liberal-minded feminist bitches, this is one of the main reasons as to why we don't have a community anymore. Now, let's go and elaborate on that. Lyndon B. Johnson, The Great Society, 1965, right? He introduced a thing called Welfare Act of 1965. Before that, black men and women were married over an 80% rate. The women were in line. They were under a patriarch system like every other race until 1965, when that policy was implemented and pushed into the so-called, when that time we actually had a community. That's why I call it a black community. Today, we don't have one. That's why you hear me call it so-called. And that's what ended up happening, ladies and gentlemen. So we have actually gone off course from that point. Look at most black women, how they talk. They don't respect black men. A lot of them don't love black men. And I'm just here to say it. I'm going to be doing several series on this, because I've been looking at a lot of these social medias that these black women have been promoting about Trump, and they've been coming down on the men, and I'm giving them some pushback. I've been in a couple of their lives commenting. You know what they have? They have these mods, because liberals in general, they are anti-American. They hate America straight off. And these people that hate America, this is a problem. And I know that something is going to be done for people that are anti-American. And the thing about it is that when you have them running a mouth, being disrespectful, saying they think they can sit up here and say anything they want, and then don't expect for no type of pushback at all, that's when you don't have a society. This is BS here, that black men especially, all they ever known is to love these black women, and you get disrespect every time. This is one of the main reasons that the relationships fail right now. 70% of women break their relationships for all types of nonsense and purposes. And I have to tell the truth on that. So when the Welfare Act system was implemented, it pushed the black woman and it elevated her up over the black man. This is why one of the main things when you hear women and black women, feminists, they always say, I don't need a man. F a man, right? Screw a man. It's all about girl power, sisterhood, and all this other stuff. Well, I'm here to break the sisterhood. I'm going to break the back of sisterhood. I'm going to go against the feminist bitches in the Western world. You hear me? And I'm going to do a quest on that to give them all type of pushback. Because when we really look at it, they are the ones that are anti-American. They are anti-freedom of speech. They want to silence you when you get in their rooms. That's why they have all these mods and stuff. See, I'm a constitutionalist and things like that. Now, I do have a mod. But I gave him clear instructions. Don't block people because they have a difference of opinion. As long as you don't resort to name calling and get that petty, because that'll get you blocked. Other than that, I'm good with it. That's cool. But getting back on point of what I'm saying here today, the problem in general are liberal feminist bitches. This is where the problem is. And I'm not going to stop. I stand 10 toes down on this. And this is the problem. I speak for a lot of men. They can't stand a feminist liberal bitch. And unfortunately, they're all in the college universities and stuff, spreading this cancer. And that's exactly what I call it. And you know what we got to do with cancer? We got to remove the tumor before it spreads. And that's basically what it is. Because it's their mindset. Some of them can be reformed, many of them cannot. They are living in chaos. They are what we call on psychotropic drugs and medication. They're not right in the head. And this is why this is the type of insane type of personality types that they have. This behavior, this misbehavior, like little spoiled brats and little spoiled little girls. They can't accept that Trump won fair and square. This is basically what it is. That's why I said I'm going to do this, because we got to get down to the source. The source is liberalism. That's what I'm trying to tell. And these soy boys, and this is why I'm going off on D.L. Hughley too. That Black Male Summit bullshit BS stuff, that BS, that Black Male Summit, all that was on BET, which means Buffoon Entertainment Network. That's what that's about. Buffoon Entertainment Network. And he has a nerve and an audacity. He bring all these brothers on, supposed to be brothers, these old half-breed, boule Negroes on the show and things like that. All it was is a campaign for Kamala Harris. They didn't mention one real policy. It was about dogging on Donald Trump. And they are afraid. I heard one guy say, yeah, there's some black women on the camera. I got to be careful what I say. See, this is what we call men that behave this way and cow down to women. This is sad to see strong black women strong black men cowing down to black women. This is crazy. Nowhere in the world I'm going to calm down of what I'm talking about here, because it's the truth. And they need to get this truth, because that's exactly what it is. I don't care who don't like it. You know, this is the facts. They have alienated men, talking about masculine. Well, if I exude masculinity now, what you going to do about it? Because we already have the answer. We cannot coexist with them, especially in the black community. We got it worse than whites, Hispanics, Asians, Indians, and so forth, Arabs. We have it worse. You know why? Because all those ethnic groups that I have explained, all those ethnic groups have what they call the patriarch system. But with us, we are living up under a matriarch system that is in chaos. That's why I curse the so-called black community, because you know why? Because it's already been cursed. But what it is that it's a dumpster fire. The so-called black community is a dumpster fire, and everybody know it. But since I'm black, I can say it, because anybody else is non-black. Oh, he's a racist. That's why I love the fact that Donald Trump is going to get rid of critical race theory. That way, there's no policies to protect their ass no more. And then others can go in on them as well. You have my full support. You have my full support. So this is exactly what it is. I don't rock with these liberal-minded feminist bitches. I don't deal with them at all. And this is what it is. We are under attack as men. White men, you are under attack. Black men have been under attack. And all you other ethnic groups, it's just a matter of time. If you want to see what it's like in the so-called black community, all you have to do, all you got to do, if you want to know what they're going to do in the rest of the world, it always started in the so-called black community. It sure does. It starts here in the black community first. And I'm just here to say this is what we are here today. And I said I was going to talk about this thing because it's the truth. Liberal feminist bitches is what I call them. And I stand 10 toes down on that. And I triple down on that as well. These are the same ones that want to act like they got some, you know what, between their legs. And they want to act like they rough and tough. And it's the truth. We are dealing with this stuff. That's why I said to the brothers, you got to get your passports. Because you're going to have a hard time trying to find a conservative woman today, which is a gem. You know why? Because conservative women fall in line. Conservative women are mostly feminine. Most of them are feminine. Most of them don't mind being in a woman capacity of working, besides working or not, but they could take care of house and home, get a hot meal on the table. Nothing wrong with that. This is what conservative women do or does. You don't want no liberal-minded feminist bitch as a wife. That would never work out. You can see the insanity by just looking at their eyes. They are untrained, unkept, and nobody wants them other than for sex for some guys. But besides that, nobody, you can't procreate with that won't respect you as a man. So why deal with it? So the solution for most men, get your passport. You can go overseas, go in these other places. If you're looking for a wife, you want to procreate, have children, deal with less of the problem, deal with less of the headache, deal with less of their girlfriends and aunties and cousins and all this stuff. Because that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with cancer cells and they have the cancer cells in their brain. They lack accountability. They lack responsibility. They're lazy. They're trifling, and they're no good. This is the problem that we're dealing with. And it's sad to see guys, D.L. Hughley and all the rest of them, but he's getting paid. What many of you guys may or may not know, when they have these celebrities, when they cow down, and he got paid by Kamala Harris to have this black male summit. That ain't no black man summit. That when I looked at that, all that feminine energy coming off them brothers over there, there wasn't no black man summit. That was a feminine energy summit. And I don't respect it at all. Buffoon Entertainment Network for BET. All they have on there is a bunch of buffoonery. They had the nerve, man. I was over there listening to some of this BS coming from the so-called black male summit. They haven't talked about anything of relevance. All they did was talked about grown-ass men preaching about how they was a victim and how they said gun violence was the #1 problem in the black community. It is not. I can challenge that easy. You know what the #1 problem in the so-called black community is? It's the killing of these babies. It's called abortion. And the black women abort her baby by the millions. They don't never talk about that. And we could go and pull up the stats because they're there. Statistics don't lie. The numbers don't not lie. But they would never talk about that. Talking about, yeah, gun violence is the #1 problem in the so-called black community. These are idiots. Every last one of them is an idiot that's preaching this propaganda BS. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Teach this propaganda crap stuff. And we got to put up with it. I say nay, though, you know what I'm saying? I call nay on this bull crap stuff, you know? Because this is BS. We're dealing with BS. Every single time it's BS. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here to tell the truth on this type of stuff. Why are black men putting up with this type of stuff? You know why? Because they weren't raised with their daddy. They didn't have a strong black leadership. And when you a black man and a liberal, it already lets me know right there he's got a bunch of feminine energy and a lot of sugar in his tank for some of them. You know what I'm saying? No woman, nobody respects that. You know, we're going to need to be a man about it and talk about the truth and deal with it for what it really is. Talking about Black Male Summit. BS. It wasn't no Black Male Summit at all. That's a joke. It's a joke, ladies and gentlemen. It's a joke. Their whole thing. Liberals don't have no policy to stand on at all. They don't have a policy to stand on at all. This is crap. When you ask Kamala Harris followers, what is their policy? You know what you get? That's what you get. That's exactly what you get. You don't get anything. I said, what is Kamala Harris policies and how they benefit America? You know what you get? Once again, this is the type of stuff that you get. You don't get nothing of substance. You know, Trump gave you all type of substance in his policies. And then you want to hate on his personality? You know what I'm saying? This is basically what it is. This is crap. We got to deal with this nonsense. You know, deal with this. And, you know, for a lot of them in their mindset, smoke weed every day. That's all we're dealing with. That's all we're dealing with right there. That's all we're dealing with. That's the mentality. This is crap. This is BS. This is BS to the high hill. And I'm tired of you know, like I said, I gave you guys, and I'm gonna keep on banging on it. Get your passports. Get your passports. Because once you can get your passport, that's going to give you the freedom to look for these conservative-minded women instead of dealing with the crap. Because you guys should be on that airplane. You guys should be on that airplane, man. This is exactly what it is. That's what I want to start hearing. I want to start hearing the airplanes. I'm saying I'm going to Philippines, Thailand, all these Eastern countries of the world, because we don't have anything here in America but a bunch of sassy mouth, fat mouth, disrespectful, liberal ass bitches. That's what we're dealing with. That's exactly what we're dealing with. I want to see men with those passports. And you know what? I want to hear that sound. Getting on those airplanes and flying out. Because this is exactly what we're dealing with here. This is a state of emergency right now. You're getting pushback from these feminist-minded, liberal bitches that get on these social media and talk down about black men, and they talk down on men. That's why I say I want to get it over 50%. And I'll be happy to see when the brothers are rolling out by 50%. And we're gonna show you. You want to strike against us? Guess what? I can show you better than I can tell you. And you go run tell that to your sisterhood, to all your Greek life, you see your AKs and your Deltas and your Zetas and all the rest of them. Go be my guest. Do what you must do. We're gonna do what we need to do. And we're going, like I said, passport, hear that sound? That's gonna be the future. You're gonna be hearing that sound more often. Hearing those jets, hearing those planes take off, because that's exactly what we're gonna be hearing. Because this is a bunch of crap. We gotta sit up in here and deal with this BS and this disrespect when we're supposed to be coming together. But we ain't gonna be coming together. You know why? Because once again, the so-called black community relationships is a dumpster fire, you know? And I keep saying that. It's a dumpster fire, you know? And all I gotta say to y'all females,
it was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
He sure did. He sure did. That's exactly what ended up happening. Yep. Kamala, that's exactly what she did. At this moment, she knew that she effed up, and that's exactly what it is. I'm not holding back, man, because like I said before, this is the problem. And I want to see more of the men and the brothers in these spaces and things like that, because like I said before, you want to be a simp, you want to cow down to these bitches You could be my guest and do that, but it ain't going nowhere. They just take your money, talk about you behind your back, call you a lame, call you weak, call you a punk, call you everything but the child of God. And you want to align yourself with that? Talking about, yeah, we black folk got to stick together. Are they sticking together? No, they're not. We are in more division than ever before. We really are in the so-called black community. I'm not trying to save it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm divesting from it. I don't date them. I don't rock with them. I don't date them. And that's why I can speak so confidently because I have my passport. I've got things in order for next year where I'm going to be rolling out. You think I'm going to stay over here and deal with this disrespect? To me, this is a person that have given up. They're not trying to procreate with no woman. You could either do as I suggest, or you could be one of these mid-tile dudes, men going their own way, being an incel, being all up in the crib, in the house, playing video games. If that's what you want to do, be my guest. But I know a lot of men ain't into that. You know, we are dealing with this type of stuff. And like I said, we don't have to deal with it, gentlemen. All we have to do is get that passport, get on that plane, and go to these other Eastern countries in the world because conservatism is the future. This is exactly what it is. We got to get up in here and act like but we don't have to deal with this stuff, man. It's 2024. It's about to be 2025. And I'm just really breaking this stuff down, man. The root problem with black women, especially, is simply this. A lot of them never grown up with a male masculine energy for a man. That's why they hate Donald Trump. See, with white women and all them, they used to it. They used to men talking like that because they respect the patriarch system. Black women don't. They are used to controlling. They're used to these soy boy type dudes. These are the ones that they're used to in their life. They're used to this type of stuff, you know? So, as it is, this is why we have an issue today in the so-called black community. But you know what? It's a dumpster fire. And I tell every man this. It's a dumpster fire here. Dumpster fire. You don't have to sit up here and put up with it. You could tune in, tune out, be my guest. It's all good to me. It's all good to me. But one thing for sure is that I have been sounding the alarm. I really have. I've been sounding the alarm for a very long time. Because like I said, I checked out I saw it coming down then in the so-called black community. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have anything, whether you want to accept it or not. Whether you want to accept it or not, we don't have anything. We really don't. This is what it's like. I'm sounding the alarm. This is exactly what it is. We are in a state of emergency, ladies and gentlemen. And in the so-called black community, we are in a state of emergency. And that's why I'm sounding the alarm right now for all black men, especially, to get out of the so-called black community and leave these black, feminine-minded, liberal bitches alone. This is exactly what it is. This is a state of emergency. This is a PBS system encouraging men and also black men to get out of your so-called community and get your passport and get on that airplane and go overseas while you still can. Because you don't have nothing here. They already showed their hand. They're over here clowning on social media. This is the alarm. I'm sounding the alarm. This is exactly what it is. This is what goes off in my head every time when I hear them speak. I hear the alarm system going off right before it hit ground zero. So, like it is, we are in a state of emergency, especially in the so-called black community. We have nothing gentlemen. They don't, these sisters don't rock with you. They don't love you. They hate you. They are on an agenda to destroy you. And they're not going to let the matriarch system go. You can't build with nobody like that. As I've always told youngins, people that are millennial and zennial, and this is who I'm really addressing right now. I'm addressing you youngsters. You only build with somebody that's willing to build with you. You can't build with something that is resisting, fighting, complaining, argumentative. You cannot deal and build with somebody like that. When any of y'all watch that BET Buffoonery Entertainment Network, what should have been addressed if they really was serious about it? It was a whole bunch of kowtowing and so forth, pandering. This is what they were doing. Buffoon Entertainment Network. This is exactly what they were doing, and it's typical because what people don't realize, D.L. Hughley already got paid. For those that don't know who he is, he's a stand-up comic. He's a horrible one at that. I never found him to be funny, but he panders to black women. He's a soy boy to me. He lacks masculinity, being a liberal male, which I never understood that. When a man be liberal, he ain't getting, I never understood that. How a man can be liberal, a black man that can be liberal, when we had a history in the black community of being conservative. That's Kurt following her skirt tail. Got to look for her permission. I heard one of the guys say, I got to be careful what I say because there's a lot of black women in here. They still, this is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. This is really crazy. So this is the problem right now. This is the problem. And the solution is what? Get your passport. Because the majority of the world is conservative, not liberal. Liberal is anti-American. They do not believe in any type of religion whatsoever. They have lack of spirituality. And I'm just going to say it. They worship Satan, all of them. They're a worshiper of Satan. That's who their daddy is. That's who they worship. That's who they bow the knee to. The men, too, they want to call themselves liberal. If I see a man with liberal next to him, all it means to me is a soy boy. That's all it means. They don't stand on nothing. What policies do they have? Every time I ask, every single time I ask what the policies are, I always ask all the time, you know what I get? This is what I get. I get this all the time, right? Every single time. They have no answer or a weak answer, or they'll do a deflect mode. When you ask a liberal any type of question that they don't know, the first thing they'll ask you a question. That's a typical liberal reflection right there. They just deflect on everything. This is what they're doing. It's just a deflection, always. And then we got to deal with this in the so-called black community. It's a dumpster fire. Then they got these old silly shows with the balloons. I call it the buffoon shows, where they go to pop the balloon and things. This is how bad it has gotten, man. They don't really see. And these are zennials. A zennial liberal woman today are the worst in the generation. I'm going to say it again. Zennial women straight across the board that follows liberalism and a feminist, man, you might as well, you ain't got nothing. Guarantee you're going to be in divorce. She's going to take you for everything you got. You can't build with that. It's a known fact. And you guys should be looking for a conservative woman if you were smart. You should be going after a conservative woman, not no liberal-minded woman. Want to shave their hair, dye their hair, all this crazy nonsense. They don't stand, they hate structure. See, Satan said that they could be free. That's all they talk about, being free. They are the daughters of Jezebel. Every last one of them that's on that liberal side. They're daughters of Jezebel. Also the daughters of Eve. Can't follow instructions, God put us as the man first, and she's supposed to follow, listen, and obey. Her responsibility, she's our responsibility. And you know, that's how it goes. You want to go Jesus, God, or whatever? Yeah. They are our responsibility for the woman. And we are responsible up under God. Exactly what it is. They don't even respect the divine order. This is how bad it is. You, like I said before, the daughters of Eve, also the daughters of Jezebel, every last one of these liberal, feminist, liberal ass bitches. That's what I call them. I don't hold it up because this is your problem, gentlemen. You could take it or leave it. Bounce out the rooms. Look at what anything else. Look at these liberal feminists running their mouth. There's many of them on there. You know, that's exactly what it is. Free to do what? Yeah, you free, but you are living in squalor, most of them, chaos, psychotropic medications. You want to try to build with that? This is what you want to build and hook up with and have children by? She will take you. It's never your woman, it's just your turn. Hopefully you guys have heard that before. It's never your woman, it's just your turn. And it's just something about a lot of these liberal-minded feminist bitches. They have this sense of entitlement. They lack accountability. They lack responsibility. And they also want to, they are always, tree branch or leapfrog to the next desired thing. They will never be satisfied with what they got. They don't even understand that. They think it's all about their happiness. You wrong right there. It's never been about your happiness. It's about your man's happiness, because when he's happy, he's going to do more for you, which is going to make you happy. But they don't believe that, because that feminist, that's a creation by Satan himself, man. You know, Eve was the first feminist. She was the first one. And they can all, and that's why I call them daughters of Eve, daughters of Jezebel, Jezebel mindset, Jezebel spirit, hoochie mama it up, thoughting it up, shaking their ass out here, dressed like a skank, looking like a trick, with their ass cheeks out, tattoos, piercings, short hair, colored hair, and that's supposed to be a wife? I don't think so. You are what they call an easy lay, to be tossed up and thrown out the damn window. You think a man want to get down with that? No. Yeah, ladies, you're entitled to do whatever you want to do. This is a free society. But I guarantee you won't get the marriage ring on your finger. You keep on being a strong woman. You keep on being a strong black woman. You keep on saying it, because I'm spitting that real stuff, whether you like it or not. I don't cow down to no black woman or no woman, right? Because I respect the divine order. That's why I say I'm very confident in this. And this is exactly what it is. This is truth speaking right now, talking about truth. You name me a feminist, name me a woman today that is a liberal feminist bitch today that is happy in her marriage, unless she's running the show. Look at the divorce rate. And I definitely, if I could be able to prove it, I'm pretty much confident to say that the majority of these women are feminist, liberal ass women that caused the divorce in the first place. We're going to go ahead and tell the truth in regards to what it is. They don't like the truth. They pastors in a church lied to them as well too, instead of telling them the truth. He more worried about the congregation, because like it is, when you pander to women, you black women too, you make a lot of money. Pander to women, black, white, and other, you make a lot of money. Steve Harvey made a lot of money pandering after black, especially after black women. Think like a man, straight no chaser, right? This is the guy that pandered to these women. Now he's nowhere to be found. You can't find his behind nowhere, right? He done jumped on the plane. He talked all this crap and this ish, and just constantly demean, talk down to black men, pretty much like Barack. There's no strength in Barack Obama either. You can just look at him. Look at him. Look at him. He ain't running nothing. Trying to tell these black men, yeah, you know what I'm saying, and everything. I see you have a problem, you know, and all this other crap of accepting Kamala Harris as being the president of the United States in so many words, you know. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely have a problem with her at all because she don't like black people, as well as the fact that she also is a liberal, feminist, Marxist, communist bitch. That's what I say, you know. And I know I'm speaking the truth on that. You think I care about this stuff? I don't. I exercise my First Amendment right. And you guys, if you know any better, that's what I was doing. I'm going over the amendments, 27 of them. I went up to 10, and I'm gonna do 10 more, and then I'm gonna do 7 more, and that's gonna be a completion of the 27 amendments. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna either keep constantly call down the black women, tell them lies, tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies, because that's what they want. They want to be told lies. They look at you as a lame. You think they want a guy that's a straightforward man that is conservative in his beliefs? They want to go out to the nightclub, go out to the bar, have what we call like these ladies' nights out, girl trips, and all that stuff. I won't put up with it. They want to have male friends. This is the liberal poison coming from these liberal feminist bitches. You can't even get a hot meal on the table. They don't want to be in this room because they know them telling the truth. You think they want to be in this room? No. No. They're going to just write it off. Oh, he's bashing women. He's bashing women. No, they don't want this smoke, man, because they know that they're out of line. They don't care because we already have an answer to it. This is not trying to convince them. I'm way beyond that. You can't convince something that's broken. When it's broke, it's broke. You can't fix it. You have to get your passports. And I want your butts on that plane going to these other countries. You know, this is what I want you to be on. Like when I'm going to be working on doing. You think I'm going to be putting up with this? I'm not even worried about it at all. I'm really not. I'm really not. We're going to be out here on those planes, going to these countries, Brazil, Colombia, right? We're going to go South America, Dominican Republic. We're going to go to all these beautiful places, man, until we find us a wife that is conservative, that doesn't mind being under a man's structure and a man authority, the way that God meant for us as men to be and do. All this other kind of crap. Because like I said, look at these black, out of control, liberal ass feminine bitches. This is what they are. This is who they serve. They serve in Satan. Look at it. He the one that's running them. This is what it is. They serve Satan, Jezebel's spirit. I'm going to say it again. This is what they bow down to. This is one that said they're going to make them free. You know, they're serving God, they're serving Satan. And then you got the house of Satan too, which is the mother church. I'm going in. You can take it or leave it. And that's for the rest of you too. You can take it or leave it. Nothing is going to come good from a feminist, liberal-minded bitch. It just won't come nothing good to come from it at all. So, I mean, I'm just saying, because this is what we get in return. Yep. You know, and another thing, she belongs to the streets. It's just what it is. It is what it is. She belonged to the street. You can't build with stuff like this. And these men what they should have been saying in this summit, they should have been over here. The real summit should have been, because it's not the problem with the brothers and men. And it ain't racism. The problem is out of control, feminist, liberal women, especially black women. They are way out of control. They are the problems and they are the ones that break relationships. Old school black women have told me that they are the problem, and I concur. They are the problem. They all, because like I said before, lack accountability and responsibility. They do not want that responsibility on them. And a woman that can't accept any type of responsibility about herself, I don't want to deal with it. They spread misinformation, they spread lies, deceitful, spiteful, prideful, hateful, all the traits of Satan himself, right? This is exactly what it is. We got to deal with this type of stuff. This is ridiculous. That's why I say they worship and they serve Satan. Satan is their daddy. Straight like that. This is who they serve. They don't serve God. They don't know God. Because if they knew God, they would be in line with God, right? They don't have no idea of who that is. They worship and they bow down to Satan. That's exactly what it is. And we can prove it. Easy. They don't want to be in this room. They don't rock with me like that. They don't want to deal with that. They don't want these problems at all. They get in their little spaces, and that's fine because we ain't checking for them. Keep talking about hating Trump and all this other stuff. We got a solution as men, especially black men. I've been encouraging black men to get on that month, get their actual about that. I've been encouraging black. Yeah, sorry about that. I almost knocked this over. I'm getting so excited. But I've been encouraging black men to get their passports. Have I not? I actually been encouraging to get their passport. Get your passports, gentlemen, so you could be able to roll on out. Because you don't have nothing in America no more. You really don't. You think that we have something here in America to build on? We absolutely do not have. We don't even have a black community no more. We never have since early 60s. Because black women jumped on the feminist bandwagon. Angela Davis, she was nothing more than a plant anyway. Because when they were marching for civil rights, and then they jumped on the white woman struggle. Talking about suffrage, black women didn't have no suffrage because she was always working. Black men worked during the Reconstruction period, 1863 to 1877. Pull it up and look at it. There was more blacks voting. They were in politics. They worked in the White House. They worked under the presidency. Even back then, they keep telling these lies and being victims and trying to shame people and black people for not standing with the liberal movement. We haven't gotten anything. Look at all the black folks. They vote before they vote against their best interests. They vote against their best interests at heart. Dealing with the Democratic Party, they have absolutely gotten nothing. You think that the Democrats are going to give you reparations? You are a fool if you think they are. There's a House bill right now, HR 40, I believe, that's been sitting around there for over 40 years. You think a study on reparations? They're not going to give you no reparations at all. It's not going to happen. And I wish you pro-blacks and all y'all other foundation, you ain't getting it. If you've been voting for them, you've been voting for the Democrats, it's wishful thinking. And this is another thing. This is what happened. We were once out here working. We had communities. You had even in the heart of segregation, Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, and all these other places in the South. Then it had over 100 bus lines, supermarkets. We had black commerce in all these particular areas right under the heart of segregation. And we mean to tell me we lost all that jumping on board with the Democratic Party? You lost more than what you gained. A lot of you voted Republican back then. Blacks back then understood the whole Republican Party. And many blacks were conservative. They wasn't this liberal-minded crap. This stuff came way after. That's why you look at it. I did a video on it. Rolled through Highland Park, Michigan. Rolled through there. Look at the devastation and destruction of these neighborhoods. And this is the same tale that's telling in most of these 10 major cities across the United States. You can go from here to Chicago, Indiana, Ohio, You can go to the Cleveland. You can go to these places, right? Maryland. You can go to these places. It's the same thing. They over here living, some of them living in squalor. Houses that look like they're supposed to be condemned. And guess what they got on the front of their lawn? Harris and Waltz. Knowing damn well she won't never come into the hood. She'll go to let you know how much she's giving the middle finger to you in the so-called black community. She'll go to one of these old prestigious black churches that don't even represent real black folk at all. You know, like that's the be all and tell all. She alienated and ran a lot and offended a lot of men, black men included, as well. That's why you don't have anything. I'm over here telling you like it is, and this is the real deal. That's why I will not align myself with no liberal feminist bitch. I won't do it. Because this is what you gonna get in return. She ain't gonna cook for you. She ain't gonna listen to you. And then you got guys like D.L. Hughley and Ricky Smiley. These are nothing but feminine-minded, estrogen soy boys that's preaching propaganda, trying to criticize the black men by not. They say they worship the black woman. I don't worship her. She ain't supposed to be worshiping anybody anyway. She's supposed to fall in line like all women. It's called the patriarch system. You know? So, yeah, that's all they know how to do. They just shuck and dive. They are the ones, they are the major problems. And I blast on them. I bang on those guys, man. And anybody else. A man being a liberal. Oh, liberal, handsome liberal. These are soy boys. It's what they are. You can't tell me nothing good with a liberal policy today. Are you kidding me? This was a lie that they have told black folks. What have you got in return? Right? You ain't got no businesses, no infrastructure. They took that away from you, and all you do is sit around here blaming. That's all you have. I'm talking about the men and the women. You just blame. You don't build infrastructure. You don't build any of this stuff. We don't have anything. You understand me? Damn it. We don't have anything. Y'all weak. Black men that's a liberal, you are weak. You're a weak ass man. I don't have no respect for you at all. Talking about liberal. Being afraid of your mama. Don't want her to know that I voted for Trump. I voted for Trump. I had no problem with it. You think I'm scared of them? What they gonna do to you? You ain't dating them anyway. What? You think they gonna date you? They consider you a lame anyway. You know what? Now, let's go down through the statistics real quick, right? You have 80% of these out of control liberal black feminist bitches, right? So with the 80% of them that have children not married to a man at all, and they over here effing Pookie and Ray Ray. You have under 20% of these men that are impregnating 80% of these women. These women are all effing the same dudes. Believe that. You think that all these other guys, now outside of that statistic, over 55% of black men between the ages of 20 and 30 are childless and they're single. But those 80% of the women, excuse my French, man, I'll knock this over again. I get a little excited sometimes, you know. I'm going to knock this over again, man. I'm going to have to put this up in another way. Because you got a lot of psychos out here, you know what I'm saying? So all they want to do is want to try to cause you or want you to have some type of harm. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it is. But like I said before, these are the guys that they are effing. This is absolutely true. They don't want you. They don't want me. They want to take your money, though, and then talk crap about you or to you. This is what they want to do. We don't have a leg, ladies and gentlemen, to stand on at all. Not trying to build with them. I'm not trying to build with them. I'm for divesting, not investing, divesting. I'm going to make a message, and I'm going to keep talking about this, to have these men with a passport, you know? And I can show you how to get a passport. I may do a tutorial on that for some of you brothers and others, because it's not that hard to get a passport. That's going to be your ticket of getting out of this chaos. Because whether we have Trump in here or not, you think they're going to change the mind of these damn sisters? No. They're going to be more out of control than ever before. They lack discipline. Nobody is giving them discipline. You know, this is the problem, and they need to cut this what we call the welfare. They need to go ahead and cut that. And I think there may be some things in the process of getting rid of that, because their back have to be broken. Because once you take these incentives away, we'll see how big and bad and bold you speak then. Because when black women weren't getting, when they wasn't getting welfare, guess who they had to rely on? They had to rely on their man, like every other ethnic group. This was the worst thing ever. And they are the daughters of Satan, every last one of them. That is a feminist and a liberal. This is and I stand 10 toes down on that. That's why they don't come in this room. You think they're gonna come in this room and deal with this? They don't want this pressure. They don't want this pressure. They want to be pandered to. They want to be catered to. They want me to kiss their ass. And when you do that, you think that's gonna get them. You think that's gonna turn them on. They don't respect that. The only thing they respect is aggression. This is what it is. Charleston White wasn't lying about black women either. He wasn't lying about them. The only thing they understand is physical violence, because they decided to accept welfare and look at the blue welfare states. Every last one of them is riddled with crime, violence, drugs, prostitution. This is what they have put themselves and their children in harm's way. They leapfrog from one relationship to the other, to the other, to the other, because they all thinking about peace. I want to be happy. This is the mindset of a liberal feminist. I want to be happy. I'm looking for my happiness. It's all about my happiness. It's all about your man's happiness first, because when he's the one out here taking care of you, he's the one that's paying the bills. He's the one, but you know what? They don't want them guys. They want the guys that smoke weed all day and things. Not only that, what else do they want? What else do they want? These are the guys that they get with, right?
Smoke weed every day.
This is the mentality that they hooking up with these type of guys and play these PlayStation, Xbox, and all them.
Smoke weed every day.
This is the type of guys they complain about in the so-called black community.
Smoke weed every day.
Rerun, man. This is old hat type stuff. This ain't nothing. I'm not dropping science on any of this stuff. This stuff that many of us didn't know if you lived in the black community long enough. We don't even have a community no more. We can talk about this all the time. These feminist, once again, feminist, because feminists are not feminine. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to do another thing about that too. A conservative woman is feminine. She is. She's feminine when you're a conservative. She understands the divine order from God to man, man and woman, woman to child. She understands that divine order. A conservative woman does. A liberal-minded woman does not. They don't respect the divine order at all. Liberal women hate a man in authority and obedience. This is why black women, the greatest fear is being under a black man's authority. They want to push the color purple and want to spread that as in that is the Bible truth. Black women hate being under a black man's control. They'll accept a white man, but not no black man. Talk back to me. They will accept a white man's rule to a point, but they will never accept a black man in power. They will never accept that at all. If Obama would have married a white woman, I guarantee he would not be president at all, because black women hate black men when they date outside of their race. Black, dysfunctional black women think that black men belong to them only. They don't respect you, they talk down to you. As an older man, they disrespect us, right? They talk to us. I'm over here trying to talk to a Zennial. She's trying to talk up to my level. Don't even give me no respect. I'm telling you guys, man. You know I'm telling the truth on this stuff. They don't have no respect whatsoever. They really don't. But if I had a channel praising black women, queens and gods and all this other kind of nonsense, you know what I get? I get a bunch of men that would come and fled in this room, and I get a lot, man, they'll be trolling me big time. You know, they'll be, if it was the opposite, they'll be trolling, man, big time. We are in a state of emergency, as I stated before. You know, this is jacked up. It really is. We are in a really bad, serious situation once again. Sounding the alarm again, because this is what we're dealing with. Think about that. These sirens are going off. And these sirens should have been, you know what? These sirens have been, these so-called phony black leaders, these so sorry black leaders like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. We can go down the list of them. Anybody that's calling himself a black leader is phony, because these alarms should have been going off a long time ago. We 2024. They have not, they align themselves with the liberal Democratic Party. And look at the neighborhoods. It's like squalor out there. It's living in under threat of violence, squalor. Look at these sparse neighborhoods. Drug, dope, needles, weeds, dead bodies, everything. This is who they vote for. They vote against their best interests. They always blame everything on racism all the time. This is just crazy. This is why you can't build with this parasitic, leeching, gimme, wanting. There's a reason why you do not feed wild animals, because it'll take away their natural instinct of doing for themselves. And that's exactly what they did in the so-called black community. They have destroyed the mind, broke us up, and have destroyed the mind of women. They have this gimme, and they absolutely lack accountability and responsibility. I mean, hey, this is exactly what it is. And everybody else is non-black know this. You think they can talk about it? No. And then they have weaponized the blacks to attack anything that may sound, now with me, they just call me a sellout, a coon, and a Sambo, right? And everything but the child of God. That's what they'll do with me. I'm cool with it. You know, I'm cool with it, because many of us have already spoke out about this. And anybody that followed Tommy Sotomayor, he was one of the first ones that spoke out about this type of stuff. Salute to Tommy Sotomayor, one of my biggest, the guys that I look up to, because he's been in this space for a long time, talking about the same issues, and he did not stop talking about the issues regards to that. It's the truth, and I rock with people that speaks truth. He ain't never lied about this. This ain't nobody lying on black women about this type of stuff. At least the thing about it is I take it a step further. We're talking about solutions. The three things that he says, two things. I say three things because I added something, and maybe it might have been an oversight on Tommy, but I say this. The three things that black women respect is money, dick, and attention. Those are the three things right there. And am I lying or am I telling the truth? Because they worship money, they worship dick, and they worship attention. Those are the three things right there. So when you understand the mindset of a liberal-minded woman, that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with that. That's what you're dealing with. You can't build with that. And these guys that have been used to, these brothers that have been used to being under their mama, grown-ass men, and they get with a relationship with a black woman, guess what? She's his mama. That's what, you know, it's with the brothers. That's what Obama, Michael Michelle Obama, that's his mama. You realize this, right? Will Smith. We're going to say it again. Jada Pickett is his mama. Dwayne Wade, right? Look at his wife. You know, is it Gabrielle Union? That's his mama. See what I'm saying? We go there and go down the list. Name me what they want to call a strong black woman. You're gonna have a weak black man standing next to him, and the list goes on. They are the ones that run these guys. They don't run no relationship. That's cap. They run them. Will Smith. What's his name? Kevin Hart. Yeah, everybody know all his stuff is he's been ran by women, married and all. You know what I'm saying? You think that any of these men show any type of strength when it come down to black women? Chris Rock, we going to name them. And some of these guys are actually like for stand up and all and actors and all that. But when it come down to it, they worship the black woman. They run them guys. They run them guys. They the ones that got to get special permission and all this other kind of stuff. They run them. When you got a weak man, every time you're going to get a strong, dominant woman. Weak, a strong, women that fall in line, conservative women. Conservative women like strong men. They don't like no weak man. It'll be hard for them to get a conservative woman. Every man can't get a conservative woman. Because if that's what you've been used to dealing with all your life, how you gonna? And that's why I tell these young guys, you better find out what type of man you are before you start going overseas, because you're gonna create something over there, which I've heard. You get these older retired white men, black men that go over there, and they over there kissing the Filipino women's ass and all this other stuff. It wouldn't happen with me. You know, you can treat them right, but no, I got to get permission. Oh, babe, no, that's not going to work. So you got to find out what type of man you are before you start going over there. I done heard stories too. I know it ain't no place paradise. I would highly recommend until Trump come in here and policies and stuff start changing, like this alimony thing. They're changing that. This alimony, this lifetime alimony. You may have heard in Florida, Ron DeSantis have actually getting rid of that. I've heard that before, but it's been a talk of the town right now, where these women are no longer being paid out lifetime alimony because it's not fair to the men. That's something that should have never been in play. I'm talking about lifetime alimony. There's no way in the world that a man should be punished for the rest of his life, because majority of the women break the relationship in the first place. Why are the men being penalized for paying for her shit, paying her bills, paying her rent, and so forth? And this is what's going on, gentlemen. They're upset about that. So that's why I'm saying, until these laws start balancing out, when the patriarch laws start coming back into play, before you bring them back over here. Because right now, I always said, don't bring them back here right now until we crush feminism. Feminism must be crushed, and it is being crushed. That's why they all in the uproar and being upset. You know, talking about these feminist women. Because right now, we in a position of power right now, gentlemen. A lot of us, majority of us voted for Trump, and he's a constitutionalist, and he stands for the red, white, and the blue, and a land of the free, home of the brave. And that's right there is a beautiful start to a beautiful relationship with the people. He said he's going to take the power from the government and give it back to the people. And when we do that, we're going to crush liberalism, because we should not be able to see them for at least for the next 20 some odd years or so, because the people have heard enough. Whoever they try to throw in there, we'll crush it, because all we got to do is revert back to how it was before. All these woke agenda, all this crap, these are nothing more than putting more fuel on the fire to destroy the union between man and woman. And thank God that the feminists and the liberal-minded women are the minority group. See, conservative women, as I said before, a lot of them are already what? They are already married, most of them. They don't want to be out here working hard, trying to prove that they don't need no man. Only an insane woman does that. Because the more they fight, they can't play the long game, gentlemen. Women can never play the long game. Men can. We can play the long game because we were designed, we were built for it. Women can't. I can drop my seed and be 70, 80 years old, and I can drop my seed in a woman and still have a child. They can't. You see what I'm saying? Because geriatric pregnancy kicks in at when you're 35 and 40, you in it really in the bad, the worst state trying to have a child. That's why they already been trying to tell these women how you not supposed to be out here squandering yourself on the youth or wasting your youth on this hot girl summer stuff, and then want to get serious when you're 30. When you're middle age at 30, you realize that, right? Because you put 30 and 30 together, that's 60. That's why I say you're middle age at 30, 35. 35, you're middle age for being 70. Think about that. You don't have a lot of time to be messing around. But I'm not educating. This ain't a channel to educate them. This is a channel to educate who? Zennial and millennial males, especially black ones as well, because we have gotten it worse than any other ethnic group. You don't belong to black women. Only way that she belongs to you, you don't belong to her, right? But since she don't want to be belong to us, I say find a woman that want to be belong to you. Because if you're making good money, you can be like 50, 60, $70,000 and up. You working, you go over in these other countries like Philippines, Thailand. Those are the areas I highly recommend for black men to go. You know what I'm saying? 30%, 33% cheaper to live there than it is over here in the United States. Our economy is about to turn back around. It's the dollar is getting strong again, you know? So there's some things where you can go and visit, check it out over there, see for yourself. But you are going to find a conservative woman over there that don't mind getting on your program. You can't save these westernized feminist liberal bitches. You can't save them, you know? You can't save somebody that serves Satan. It's just how it is, though, you know? Every last one of them. And the men that follow them, you already know how I feel about them. I already said that before. It's nothing good that's going to come from that at all. But just dropping the facts, telling it like it is. We already have tried. We can't even come to the round table. It's going to be a hurl of insults. Being called out your name, called being a weak man that can't deal with a strong black woman. What does that mean? There's no such thing as a strong black woman or a strong black anything that's a woman. When men have built the infrastructures, built besides the infrastructures, we're talking about all type of technology, advancement, and intervention. Women don't do that type of stuff. They just live in a city or live in an area that men have built. All this feminism stuff is a bunch of malarkey. It's garbage. It's bullshit. That's exactly what it is. So, like I said that I was gonna get into it with this particular topic because these topics and what helped me is that when you like and sub, and that way I can keep going because I'm gonna be pushing my stuff on Rumble very soon. And on that channel, it's called a random mail on Rumble, where I can really go in because YouTube does not respect the Constitution. They're all about censorship, and that's what liberals like. They like our voices to be censored. They have this narcissistic. This is another thing about feminist women. Women that are a feminist, they are narcissistic at the same time. It's either their way or the highway. They don't care about no type of respect, no type of male authority whatsoever. They act as if they are the ones that's running things, right? It's an illusion in their head until they have a flat tire when the car breaks down. I don't see those very many female mechanics. I ran across a few in my lifetime, but it's not a profession that's dominated by women. Let's keep it real. Your professions where you see more women in working in the government or working in the private sector, and let's go and keep it real. They're not out here um, ditch digging or on the gurneys and things like that, offshore drilling. They're not doing the stuff. Knock it off. Want to say that they've been denied in the suffrage and they've been denied of or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Things in life, I don't know what it been like back then, but I'm sure it was a lot better because you didn't have to deal with them voting irresponsibly, talking about a movement that really is not even a movement. It's a made up tool of the devil. That's what I call anybody that's a liberal with a liberal minded. They are the our opposer and the opposite of righteousness and good and wholesomeness. That's exactly what it is. And they are anti-American at that. That's why they're not being blessed. They want to call Trump the big victim, the evil man, but it's actually the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you got these women, these feminist, liberal bitches, and the black ones too that have Jezebel spirit in them. They're a hater of truth. They're a hater of good. They hate knowledge. All they spit out is lies, just like Kamala Harris. And then they want to jump. They'll be the ones that throw the stone and hide it. They always cry victim when things don't go their way. This is a narcissistic, parasitic type of thinking, which is a cancer. And unfortunately, it's already spread across the United States and a lot of these Western worlds. That's why you guys, when I say passport, stay out of the UK, stay out of Paris, and it's all those places, stay out of Germany. It's going to tell the truth of what it really is. These Western world, Scandinavian countries, no, you don't. That ain't what you want. You got a lot of liberal feminist bitches over there too, bitches with the accents. I've heard them. You don't. This is the type of stuff that they get on here on OF. They a lot of them are on OF to let you know how look at they're complaining about OF because the men are not spending money no more on OF. OF is passe. Guys are waking up. They got their passports. And that was I don't know what OF mean to my on what's that OnlyFans. This is you know what I'm saying? No, none of the guys ain't going to the bars in the night. I'm talking about the nightclubs. The guys ain't spending money in the nightclubs. Our brothers ain't spending money buying no drink up in there. What you gonna watch women grind up on each other? Those are liberal bitches that you seeing up in there. Yeah. What is a man getting out of that stuff? You see less nightclubs today. You don't see a lot of nightclubs no more. You know, we ain't fitting from it. And I'm glad to see that this stuff is going out. And in fact, you're hearing more women complain about relationships and dating, and I love it. Ain't none of these guys on these date sites no more. I've been canceled my stuff a long time ago. It's a waste of money. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna get catfish or find something that you don't like, it's a waste of time, gentlemen. Leave those date apps alone. Let these feminine liberal women let them do what they must do. Because us men ain't checking for them no more. We got our passports. We already have a solution. For them showing they behind on social media, told the world and men that we don't rock with y'all. We don't fuck with you guys. And guess what? We don't rock with you either. And that's why we got our passports ready to roll out. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get somebody in these other countries that don't have no problems being under a male authority, listening and obeying the way that God set it up. Only a daughter of Satan bucks against that. The daughters of Satan can't stand what you already know. They don't like leadership. They lack accountability. They lack responsibility. They're lazy, living in their own squalor. They don't take responsibility, as I mentioned before, very well. They don't. And they don't take directions from a man at all. Try being a supervisor as a black man trying to supervise black women. Huh. That's hard as heck because they don't respect it. They respect the white man. They respect them all day long. as the days along. They respect them, no problem at all. And I really believe what Tommy Sotomayor was saying about how black women, they really hate black men. And I really believe that too. I really truly believe that. I can't build with them. This is straight from the heart. I'm telling the truth. We have been under a matriarch system, and you would figure they want to call black men masculine. Misogynist. Are you kidding me? When the majority, over 80% of them, have been under a matriarch system. Are you kidding me? This is crazy. But this is their mentality. And this is why they hate a confident, strong alpha male. They can never get him. They couldn't even deal with Kevin Samuels. He was like the image consultant a few years back before he passed away. And I used to watch this show too. I found it to be very entertaining. I only like the ones, not the ones that agree. I only like the ones that disagree with Kevin Samuels. Because the reason for that is because it lets the world know how insane a lot of these women are and these black women are that call this show. This is the entitlement, as he called it out. This is the lack of accountability, the lack of responsibility. You think they are flooding in this channel right now? No. They still refuse. See, they say that it's a us problem. It's a man problem. Feminists always revert to a man as in it being a problem. We are the problem. Men are the problem, right? We have all heard that, black, white, and other. Men are the problem. Men are the problem. We are the problem. This is what goes off in their head all the time. Men are the problem. This is what it is. You can't deal with that. They're not trying to dialogue. I will welcome him. I will actually have no problem with them coming in this room. But the problem is it's not gonna go very well. It's not. I can't die, and I'm not trying to dialogue with them. I'm dealing with Zennials and millennials right now. And I'm more concerned about the Zennials, black males, because I see where a lot of them are going through. Do you realize between 20 and 30 years old, I'm talking about the average of them, you got a lot of those incel men out there like that, that's having problems dating these sisters. Zennial women, black, white, and other, are gone. You can't interact with them. You can't engage them. They have nothing to offer other than gimme, gimme, gimme. This is what goes off in their head when they see a man that may be interested. Gimme, 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 gimme. They don't think that they have to do anything in return. It's not reciprocal at all. It's a waste of time. Why deal with that? And then the STDs are rampant as well too. I forgot to mention that. STDs in these Georgia, Houston, these major cities, the STDs are up really high. So you don't have nothing. You don't have anything. You have to roll out. You have to get out. I'm about divesting, I'm all about divesting, not investing, divesting. That's what I'm about. And I suggest that you guys start to think about the reality of things, of what it is, especially if you're a black male. Black men don't have no choice at all. You got to roll. You got to roll up on out of here, man. I've been over here talking for about almost an hour and a half, talking about the realities of America as well as the inner cities. This is what we don't have anything. I can't even name a model family that are together, especially black ones. I cannot. We don't even know what black love is because we have anti-hate that's coming from black women. It's not black men, it's black women. But black women have told the world that the problem is black men. They don't protect us. They against us. They bash us and things. See, this is a victim because they pretend to be a victim, but they pretend to be strong at the same time. How can you be strong and be a victim at the same time? It's either one or the other. You can't be a victim and then be strong at the same time. If you are that strong woman that you claim, you'll be doing everything on your own, which is fine. You can do all that, but you are in a state of rebellion. And this is one of the main reasons that you are not being blessed by the Almighty. You're not, because you are being defiant is what I'm trying to say. And you have the spirit of Eve, Jezebel, any woman that came against her man, you come against God. Straight like that. I'm going to say it again. Any woman that come against her righteous man, you go against God. And that's exactly why they are cursed. They are cursed. And I have the scriptures though too. And I'm not a religious man, but I put this stuff out, because it's there in their own Bible. It's there in their own Bible. Now I'm gonna read this right here. Give me a moment, because I like to be able to show. I can show it's in Timothy chapter 2. And I had a friend of mine, Brother Dwight. I gotta give a shout out to my boy, Brother Dwight, and he shared that scripture with me. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and save it. And here it is, right here. And this is the main problem. This is God's law in this order here, right? Timothy chapter 2, verse 11. And this is coming from the New International Version of the Bible. You can pull up King James, maybe word it a little differently, but it's basically saying the same thing. A woman should learn in quietness and full submission. I do not permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over a man. She must be quiet, for Adam was formed first, then Eve. And Adam was not the one deceived. It was a woman who has deceived, became a sinner. Am I making myself clear now? Is that what these women are doing right now? Are they out here sinning right now, going worshiping Satan? Satan is their daddy. I'm going to say it again. This is coming from Timothy chapter 2, verse 11 to 14. In the New International Version, a woman should learn in quietness and full submission. God says, I do not permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over a man. She must be what? Quiet. For Adam was formed first, then Eve. And Adam was not the deceiver. It was a woman who has deceived, who was deceived and became a sinner. I dropped the mic. That's why they don't come in this room. They don't want to deal with me. They don't want to deal with me. And they don't have to, because I don't want to deal with them. This is a platform for men, talking about stuff for men. This is what I cater to men. I want you guys, especially you Zennial and your younger generations. We got Gen Alpha about to come in that's already here. And you see, we have a legacy of poverty. We have a legacy of disparity. We have a legacy of broken family structure. We do not have no type of male patriarch system that loves his children, love his family, always in rebellion all the time. These women that refuse to get in line and accept God's word. This is the problem right here. So, like I said, you have to build with people that want, or build with a woman that wants to build with you. You cannot build in America like this. The majority of conservative women, you realize, and how hard it is to find a conservative black woman. They're not that they're not that hard. They're hard to find. They're not easy to find. You can find liberal women all day long. Not no conservative. So what I'm saying is you have to been preaching this all the time. Passport. Straight like that. Passport. That's what it is. And for some of you, I may be just talking like, in other words, this ain't nothing more than just, I'm just preaching to the choir for some of you fellas. Some of you men, this is just like preaching to the choir. And I get it. But this is exactly what it is, man. We have nothing. We have nothing. When you able to accept that we have nothing, we have nothing, ladies and gentlemen. It's just what it is. So if we were to recap once again, this is about out of control black women that have alienated, they have masculated, and they have talked down, put down, and have destroyed their communities. Just like Eve went against what God's word said. She was the great deceiver. And then we have the daughters of Jezebel as well. And I hope a lot of them are proud of it too. And they are the ones that are cursed today. Those and I will, Brian, I can bring that up too. There's a scripture in there talk about that. Matter of fact, I think I may. Why not? Because I want this stuff. I don't want to say that, because we can go to the source. We can go to the source. Why not? Because I think I do have that. Just give me a moment. Give me a moment here. Because this is we got to talk about this stuff. This is where the problem is. Yep. This is where the problem is, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let me see. I already talked about Timothy already. Let me see here. Have that. Okay. Let's talk about Ephesians. We're going to talk about this one, chapter 5:21. Wives, submit yourselves to your own husband as you do to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. Now, talk to me now. It's in their own Bible, but why aren't the ministry telling these women the truth? You know why? Because they're under that 501c3 code that states that when you're operating, because they separated church and state, so their parishioners, they get tax exempt, tax breaks, right? And they bring this money in. It doesn't do anything in the so-called black community. The church is a hypocrite of its own as well. The church have one of the first that have divided us. They are much of the problem, much of the blame as the black women. With these two in tandem, this is why we don't have a community today. And they don't want to deal with this factual truth. They will run like the jackals they are. They serve Satan, the daughters of Satan. That's what I call them. And I won't deal with the daughters of Satan, the daughters of Jezebel. I don't want them in my life because you guys trying to make that stuff work. You trying to make the daughters of Satan work in your life. You're going to get either, as Charleston White would always say, you're going to be getting either jail or hell. That's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get. These are not my sayings, but I like them. I may even put that on the sound bite, man. Why not? But that's what we're going to be getting. We are in chaos, chaos, chaos. If you're in the so-called black community, you think I listen to D.L. Hughley, Ricky Smiley, Steve Harvey? You think I listen to these guys? They don't speak for black men. These are Hollywood elites. Don't they have enough troubles that they got to worry about? Ain't nobody thinking about them. These are the hypocrites, the liars. This is what they are. There's nothing good coming from this at all. That's what I'm saying, man. So I'm about to go ahead and end this live. I think I said what I needed to say in things because, like I said before, we are in a real. I mean, I'm saying we're in a good situation as far as the golden age. I will say that we are in a very good state regards to the golden age and things like that. So things are going to be looking up and things. We're going to be going to new heights. Trump have already put people in position to be able to bring this government down to about 80% reduction, where all this unnecessary spending that has been going on is going to cease and it's going to stop, you know, which I'm happy. According to Elon Musk, he says that he can actually bring it down to about $2 trillion that can go back into uh, the people. Because with that 2 trillion, it can go back into infrastructures, creating new jobs. And this is all these naysayers don't understand because they have a genius. And Elon Musk is a very, very intelligent man, man. Guy can build his rocket ships and send people to the moon and all kind of stuff, you know? You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about, before I go, let's talk about the definition of a snowflake, which a lot of these feminine people are, men and women that are liberals, right? A snowflake is a very sensitive person, right? Someone who is easily hurt or offended by the statements or actions of others. Isn't that what they are? Snowflakes? It's what they are. Snowflakes. That's the definition of a snowflake. Yep, exactly. So if I were to go into, I'm gonna go and pull up one of these think tanks here. Hold on for one moment before I go. Here it is. I think it is right here. Um, okay, I think this is strategies. Let me see here. This is coming from a think tank. Let me see here. Crowder and Peven strategies. Um, Here it is. It's a political strategy outlined in 1966 by the American socialist and political activists Richard Crowder and Francis Fox Peven, right? The strategy aims to utilize militant and anti-poverty groups to what's that and was a political crisis by overloading welfare system via an increase in welfare claims, focusing and creation of a system of guaranteed minimum income and distributing income through the federal government. This is what the Democratic Party stand on. So these guys, right, in the Democratic Party back in 1966, they have controlled the presidency, both houses of the United States Congress, to redistribute income to help the poor, right? But they stated that full enrollment of these eligible for welfare will produce what's it, bureaucracy, distribution in welfare agencies, and fiscal disruption in local and state governments, right? So it says that it deepens existing divisions amongst elements in the big city. Democratic coalitions, the remaining white middle class, the working class, ethnic groups, and the growing minority poor. To avoid further weakening of that historic coalition, the National Democratic Administration will be constrained to advance a federal solution to poverty, which will override local welfare, failures in local class and racial conflicts, and local revenue dilemmas. So this is the stuff right here that they've been working on. Let me see here. Said the ultimate objective to this strategy is to wipe out poverty by establishing a guaranteed annual income that would be questioned by some, because the idea of individual social and economic mobility has deepened the roots, and even activists seems reluctant to call for a national program to eliminate poverty by outright. Let me see here. What else does it say here? The focus on the Democrats. Um, Let me see here. Right. So that here, and for those that where I'm reading this from, this is coming from. Let me spell it out for you so that way. This is called coming from Clowder, CLOWARD, and PIVEN strategy. So, like I said, um, these are basically a form of communists, revolutionists, and they also are Marxists. These are a Marxist mindset of what the Democratic Party have introduced back in 1966. Because remember before, they was really preaching for like the blue collar, all this other kind of stuff, but they have been the enemy, the uniparty, and so forth, up until Donald Trump. So just wanted to bring that up a little bit. But other than that, this is where we are right now. America is a great place to live, to build, to get the money. You just can't everything but the girl, because why waste time and take chances when more than likely you're gonna be running across some type of feminine type woman. All you gotta do is ask her what's her political viewpoints are. And she'll tell you. She'll tell you, and that should be a actual tool to filter out the garbage anyway. When you can tell with a feminist mind, you can always tell feminist and liberal women by asking a question. Where do they politically align with themselves? It's just quite simple. That way you ain't got to go into the relationships, because she's not going to date you if she's a liberal and you a Trump supporter. She's going to call you everything but the child of God, for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go down through this agenda 47 again, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Now, the Agenda 47, this is Trump's policies again. Number one, to seal the border and stop the illegal migration invasion. Number two, carry out the largest deportation operation in the U.S. history. Number three, end inflation and make America affordable again. Number four, he talked about making America the dominant energy producer in the world by far. Number five, stop outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower. Number six, large tax cuts for the workers, no tax on tips. Number seven, defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. These things are important. Number eight, prevent the World War III, restore peace in Europe and the Middle East, and build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over the entire country, and make made in America. These are his policies from Trump. Number nine, end the weaponization of government against the American people. What does he mean when he said the weaponization? He's talking about the spying operations that's going on, how they want to build these smart cities and things like that. They want to corral us, they want to watch us, they want to study us, they want to control us. So this is what he's talking about by getting rid of that. Number 10, stop the migration crime epidemic. We already have seen MS-13, these other gangs that's running around that have killed like all these girls and things like that. These women and these innocent girls, like Lake and Riley, right? Demolish the foreign drug cartel. He said in his administration, he's going after the actual drug cartel. Trump is actually going to annihilate them, and that's why I say war is coming to their doorstep, because he already have like the special forces the Delta Force, as well as the Navy SEALs that's going to go out there seek and destroy missions to bust up the drug cartels, destroy them, take that dope and destroy it, fentanyl and destroy it, and then he's going to take that money that the cartels have been doing and running, and also they have been in heavy child trafficking and human trafficking. This is the type of president I'm talking about, and he's going to do this, right? He's going to take some of that money, a lot of that money, and he's going to give it to these families that deserve it. All this death that they have done and against innocent people, he's going to crush the gang violence. So that means even for the Bloods and Crips, you guys better listen up. If you don't get your act together, you guys are going to be neutralized. It won't even be a thing called Bloods and Crips no more. Trump is on a it ain't gonna just stop at the Latino gangs. He said gang violence. So war is coming to y'all doorstep so that you know. So go run and tell it. And lock up violent offenders as well. So that's thing, which is number 10. Number 11, rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., make them safe and clean, right? Because this is exactly what they do. Washington, D.C. is a horror. It's so jacked up over there. Number 12, let's talk about it, right? Strengthen and modernize our military, making it without question the strongest and the most powerful in the world, right? Number 13, keep the US dollar as the world's reserve currency, right? Number 14, fight for and protect Social Security, Medicare, and with no cuts, including no changes to the retirement age. Number 15, cancel the electric vehicle mandate, right? He didn't say cancel electric vehicles. He said the mandate, because we should have a choice whether we want to drive in a gasoline engine. Gasoline engine is way more efficient, especially if you have trucking. You have, which is the breadbasket of American business. This is the backbone, right? Feeding America, right? So he's gonna make sure that he get rid of that and cut costly and burdensome regulations. This is what Trump is going to be doing. Number 16, cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, and political content on our children. They will not be funded anymore, once he assumes power for real, for real. Number 17, keep men out of women's sports. They never should have been there in the first place. Number 18, deport pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. So he's saying, for you pro-Hamas supporters that support Hamas, guess what? Trump ain't playing around, because if you are from Palestine or support Hamas, you will be deported. You can lose your scholarship. So you better play right? Number 19, let me see here. So yeah, number 19, secure our elections, including same-day voting, voter identification, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. And then last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, number 20, unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. That's the golden age he talked about. And I love talking about his policies. I have not heard Project 2025 what I read at all. There's no Project 2025. This is a boogeyman they talk about. I have his Agenda 47. I've been had his policies, and I have no problem reading them. I read 20 bullet points, but tell me, can Kamala Harris follower, can they do the same with her policies? Absolutely not. Because each and every time when we ask the same old age-old question, can they do it? You know what the answer is? That's the answer that we get every time we ask that question, every time. Every single time. Every time. So like it is though, ladies and gentlemen, if we were to rewind once again, recap before I go. We talked about the actual black woman that's under this feminist and also this liberalism ass type BS bullshit. We want to recap. We talked about that. We talked about how I'm actually giving a lot of examples how they have destroyed not only our community but destroying society. And also, when they push these types of woke agenda type stuff, it have offended men and women that are conservative. They have really thought that they were the majority in America, and they're not. They are the small minority group that nobody should be concerned with. They have lost this election. They have lost the majority of this country. The majority of this country do not rock with legacy media no more. Y'all are rocking with us now. Y'all don't rock with them no more. They have lost over 50% of their viewership. It's about to drop down even more. These people like Joy Reid, right? Which is the big black mouth of the South, is what I'm going to call her. She ain't from the South, but I want to make it rhyme, you know. So you have her. You have what's the other one? Summer Hostin, you know, which I cannot stand any of these type, and they're at the forefront, right? You got this guy Roland Applehead Martin, right? That used to be on MSNBC, right? Before he got fired. You had Don Lemonhead Lemon, right? You know, see, these are all soy boys, right? They don't represent the black community. These are people that were put in front of us to try to shame us, and it ain't working though. They can't shame me. I roast them, you know. They don't have a political point of support or in a political point of an advantage at all. They're in a disadvantage right now, and they absolutely think that they have leverage in this fight. They don't. They are nothing more than small, disgruntled people that people don't rock with them. Only that the majority of liberal women do. Most black men are conservative. They don't. Liberal black women more so, and we have more. Ain't that funny? We have the majority of black women that are liberal, and then we also have most of black men are conservative. And this is the thing about it. That's why we don't get along very well. And they know this. And they thought that they're gonna get out here and shame us before I go. It ain't gonna work because these brothers are waking up because there's channels like me that promote the passport bros that have taken off like never before. I picked up a guy yesterday in my car, and he was about my age, baby, was a Generation Xer, and things like that. He said he's in the process of getting his passport. I said that's cool because I think he's going to go to the Philippines. I said there you go, because his wife passed away, and now he said, but his wife was a conservative. She cooked for him, and me and him were talking because I know what it's like being with a woman that cooked for me. You know what I'm saying? I had a woman that was conservative. She cooked for me and everything and washed my clothes and all that stuff. It was a beautiful thing, man, you know? And I mean, it's not like this stuff can't happen, gentlemen. But for some of you, you probably never had a woman that did these type of things. You're not going to get it from these feminine, liberal bitches. You're not going to do it. It's just a waste of time for them. And again, as I always have said, that they are the daughters of Satan. It's just how it is. This is who they worship. This is their master. This is their daddy. Things like that. So Obama is their daddy. And I really think that he was almost like the Antichrist to me, and things like that, because everybody adoring him. He was the one that's supposed to have brought peace to America and everything in the world. You know, smooth talking, slick talking devil to me. You know, exactly. That's why I call him too. He effed over the black community, he effed over America, and we done ran his ass up on out of here though. You know, he's done. He's mud. You know what I'm saying? So how dare him talk to the brothers the way he did, you know? Couldn't did it with me because I would have tore him up on policy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, though. Get on out of here. We don't want you, Obama. You know, the brothers ain't feeling you. You may not be feeling what I want to say to all my fellow constituents, hello, Chicago. Now, I want to say that you brothers may not be with it with Kamala Harris. You may not be feeling it right now. Is that right? See, this is crap. This ain't nothing but crap. Yeah, because I'm a beta male. First and foremost, I'm a beta male. And I believe in black woman as being the queen and goddess. I worship her. And I kiss up to her. And she's the one that I worship. He's letting that's basically what it is. That's why black women love him so much. Can nothing bad come from black woman at all? There you go. This is crazy, man. Oh man, this is crazy, crazy, crazy though, man. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to go ahead and shut it down. I thank you guys for rocking with me, listening to me, and things like that. And they're not gonna come in this room, man. Are you kidding me? They're not gonna do it. They're more welcome to, because I'm not running. Just looking at the time here. And things. So hold on, wait a moment, guys. But I'm not running though. To be honest, I'm not running from them. So other than that, though, I'm about to get ready to shut this dang thing down, though, man. And for those that rock with me, gave me a few likes, that's cool, man. This channel gonna start getting bigger and bigger because this truth have to be spread. It has to come out. It don't matter about what I look like. It's about what I have to say. You know what I'm saying? That's the most important thing, you know, because we live in a society of sickos and weirdos, as you already know. So the day that I don't have to do this no more like this, that's when we know we have won. And other than that, I thank you guys for listening to me. I appreciate the applauses. I really do. I really do. I appreciate it. I brought the house down tonight or today, and look forward. I'm gonna come back on later on tonight, and I'm gonna be doing. I think what's the other? I'm gonna come up with something though, because this is happening. I mean, the stuff that I had to say, and share this with your friends, man. Share this with the fellas, black, white, and other, because this affect you guys too. Even though you may not be under a a matriarch society like we have, but there's a lot of stuff that these other groups can learn from the black community. I always tell white and other non-black, just look at the black community. If you're not careful, this type of stuff can be at your doorstep, and it has been on white doorstep already by putting your women against you. They did the same thing they did with us when they broke the black man. This is the what we have in the which is nothing. So if you're not careful, this can happen though. You know, Indians, Asians, you guys have a little bit more time. But I have had people that are Chinese, Asian, and Indian. They said that feminism has spread over there as well. Sorry about that. Did it again. This is the third time, man. I'm gonna have a better situation though, guys, in regards to that. But other than that, I thank you guys for listening to some random guy speaks with a passport. Yeah, this is my bedroom though, you know. Yep, there we go. But I got a studio in here too. There we go. And I got a studio in here as well too. So which is the perfect thing though, man, for me to be able to talk about the most important things though. Most of the time I'm always recording in my car, you know. But today I said, because I know it's a little slow out there, and I know the times to get out here and go to work. So, which I'm about to do pretty soon. I thank you guys for rocking with me and things like that. I really enjoyed it and things. So, hope you like my poster, man. That's the old school when Steve Jobs was alive. Because I'm a big Mac fan, though. I've been rocking with Macintosh Mac for a long time. This is like a nerd alert for those, So yeah. Remember the old iMac, the different color ones? I remember when those first came out. When I was in school, that's what I was using. They are dated now, But yeah, I remember those. Who don't remember those? Yeah. But yeah, so I'm proud of that poster, by the way, and things. So as opposed to always looking at the street and me driving around, right? But I thank you guys for listening and things like that. Yeah, doing this live and things like that. I'm gonna be doing some other ones, more so from my bedroom and things. So it's a beautiful thing, which I call my studio. I thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. and make that money. Don't be discouraged. Don't let nobody bring you down and things like that. And it's bless God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. I'm all for the red, the white, and the blue. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. Peace. All right. Let's see here.